in the end.
The early juggernaut that was the Tony Hawk franchise certainly helped out Activision for a good while. Combine this with the newly introduced Call of Duty, which would itself become the next yearly juggernaut for them, a bevy of licensed games, and other one-off titles like True Crime Streets of LA, amongst many other successful releases. This helped contribute to their Q3 2003 revenues being up by 34%, with Tony Hawk's Underground no doubt helping out, being a top 5 seller that holiday season. It was no surprise that in early 2004 they announced a sequel with this regard. The game itself was set to be a natural evolution of the first game. It would have more new features, new locations to visit around the world, which the team once again visited in real life to get a culture feel, new mechanics to enhance the gameplay, and the story would continue where the first one left off. In an interview with IGN, Neversoft president Joel Jewett spoke on what he had learned about story modes following Thug. The main gist of it is that while it took a lot, it was fun to tell and it allowed more possibilities with what they did. It set them up well within skateboard culture from all perspectives. However, doing what was done in the last game again wasn't going to cut it. Neversoft needed something fresh, something unique, something different in the realm of skating culture that would reflect in the story. Enter Brandon Cole Margera, aka Bam Margera. Here's a quick rundown. Bam Margera started skating at an early age as a kid, but didn't get his first camera until he was 14 from his father. He took a digital media class and eventually would record videos of him and his friends, including some future collaborators like Art Webb, Brandon DeCamilio, and the late Ryan Dunn, skateboarding and performing stunts. This eventually spawned into the CKY, Camp Kill Yourself video series. The name is shared with Jess Margera, Bam Margera's brother, Band, which itself was a reference to the 80s slasher Sleepaway Camp. After receiving his GED and years of recording and editing, Bam released the first CKY film, CKY Land Speed, in 1999. There were several sequels, and these eventually got the interest of Jeff Tremaine, who at the time was an editor for skateboard magazine Big Brother. Tremaine already reached out to Johnny Knoxville to plant the seeds for what would become one of MTV's biggest hits of the early 2000s. He was looking for more people to add, and seeing the videos of Bam and the CKY crew, in particular CKY2K, which became a cult hit with the other vids, he thought this would be a perfect fit for this show. That show became Jackass. Jackass launched Bam into a whole level of fame unlike any other. Now you had a whole audience of people watching him kick his dad's ass as opposed to a small amount of people in addition to all the other crazy stunts those guys would get up to. Many other people from CKY would be supporting, and Ryan Dunn also became a featured player. Bam went on to appear in just about every Jackass film, but with the show having a short run, despite Bam especially being popular, it was no surprise he got his own show, Viva La Bam. Viva La Bam ran from 2003 to 2005 on MTV, and it basically had more or less the same ordeal as Jackass, but with a focus of Bam and company accomplishing a mission, following a theme, or just beating a challenge, all while pranking, skateboarding, and getting the help of friends, family, or who knows who else. Many of the Jackass cast, and even some skateboarders in this game, Tony Hawk and Bob Burnquist, guest starred in the show. Basically what Joel Jewett said in the interview is, the game took the direction it did because Bam cornered the market of skate culture that really spoke to the youth. Getting crazy and having fun, something very evident by his time on Jackass and in his own show. The first game had a more serious, grounded story, so they decided to go crazy with this one. Hell, the game was originally announced with the subtitle World Destruction Tour to reflect this, but that subtitle was later removed probably for the sake of brevity. That's the real biggest change in all of this. Now, this story wasn't going to appeal to everyone, especially fans of the older games, but as long as Neversoft could continue to push the boundaries both technically and otherwise, everything would be fine, right? For the most part, yeah, especially when the game was revealed at E3. A lot of interactivity, many of the features from the first game ported over, a big cast of characters, a big soundtrack, and some of the other aforementioned features, in addition to the others we will get to when we get to it. Thug 2 was really shaping up to be quite the time for newcomers and fans of the series. Tony Hawk's Underground 2 was developed by Neversoft and published by Activision, and released on the same platforms as the first game on October 4th, 2004 for North America, and October 8th, 2004 for PAL territories. The GBA and PC versions followed on the same day in North America, but October 15th, 2004 for Europe. There was also a separate PSP version called Thug 2 Remix, which had some levels not included in the console versions, but we won't be talking about that here. Activision estimated $30 million in October retail sales driven by the launch of this game, and it certainly seemed like that, seeing as how in early 2005 the stock increased quite a bit. All this on a game that, though it certainly holds its own gameplay-wise, it may have jumped the shark in some instances. Thug 2 has multiple modes of gameplay. You have the standard story mode, which picks up where the first one left off, but we'll get more into detail about that in a bit. But it basically follows the same formula as complete goals, advance the story, and move on until you get it done. There are some differences with how it goes, but again, more on that later. You also have high score and free skate, which pretty much function the exact way they always have. Free skate around any unlocked map and get a high score in 2 minutes or so. Many of the previous game's options for creating stuff is back. You can create graphics and goals. You can also create parks, skaters, and tricks like the previous games. Multiplayer also returns with both local and PS2 online support. Joel Jewett said in the interview that they were not able to apply resources for Xbox Live support as they already put so much in the PS2 online side. Keep in mind, OG Xbox Live helps simplify things, but either there's more to this or Activision wanted to implement their own stuff just like EA did at this point. All the standard multiplayer modes return: Trick Attack, Score Challenge, Combo Mambo, King of the Hill, Graffiti, Firefight, Goal Attack, and Capture the Flag, with the latter two being both online only. Horse, which is 2-player only, and Free Skate are all options. They also function as they should. New to this game are the modes of Scavenger Hunt, where you either have to pick up all coins or have the most when time runs out. Elimus Skate, which is a variant of Trick Attack, where you have multiple stages per game with a variable time limit. The lowest score when time runs out gets eliminated. Repeat until the last person is standing. And Slap. When two skaters collide, the fastest one stands. The more tricks you do to fill the special meter, and you can run into them or slap them. The biggest new mode in this game, though, is Classic Mode. For those of you who missed the old get everything or as much as you can done in 2 minutes style from the first 3 games, here it is. Stat points are also collected in the old school way as opposed to how it's done in Story Mode, which is unchanged from the last game. And they even bring back some classic levels in addition to using the new ones in this game. School 1 and Downhill Jam from 1, also maybe the training stage since it's an expanded version of the Warehouse from 1, Philadelphia from 2, and Airport, Canada, and Los Angeles from 3. To make things a bit different, some of the goals in the classic levels are different compared to what they were in the originals. You still have the usual high score, collect skate, etc., but in Airport, for example, instead of stopping pickpockets, getting tickets to your skate buddy, crooked grinding around the baggage claims, and visiting 10 countries, you will instead crush suspicious suitcases, nose manual the escalator slope, and nose grab over the copter. This does help keep old school vets on their toes who thought they could just breeze through the same goals again. Some of the newer stages do feel a bit bigger to fit the bill, but they bring back some of the original stages, and doing that definitely helps. All in all, Classic Mode is a solid addition to this game. The gameplay itself pretty much follows how you would expect. This applies across both modes. It hasn't actually changed all that much. You'll still skate around and do various tricks, access secret areas, do a little platforming when you need to get off the board, etc. Basically, if you played the first one, you'll pick up on this one immediately. To help enhance the experience, there are some new gameplay mechanics. For starters, the wall plant has been replaced with a sticker slab. This allows you to plant a sticker on a wall as you wall plant it. It's not only easier to pull off, but you can also really link your combos together for some big points. There are plenty of sticker options to select from, and you might be able to create your own. On top of that, you can now perform nada spins. These allow you to hop on poles, fire hydrants, and other similar items and just spin on them. They're also easy to pull off and fun as hell. You can now also modify aerial tricks by using flips and rolls. Press the directional any button twice when in the air. Like if you hold B and then push forward twice, you can do a front flip. Back twice for a back flip, and then on the side for rolls. You get the idea. On top of that, you can now spray graffiti tags when off the board. Some story goals require this, but you don't have to do every goal to advance, unless you want to 100% and get some of the secret characters that are unlocked that way. Also, if you bail, you can now freak out. You'll have to bail a certain way though to start it. When it does, mash the button needed to fill up the meter to at least one white line. When you do, your skater will break their board or toss it off, get a new one, and it will refill the special part and give you a chance for extra points on the next combo. You can also pick up projectiles and throw them wherever. Again, some story goals need this. Finally, the last new feature is focus mode. With the special meter filled, click the left analog stick to trigger it, at least on the consoles where you can click it. The game will enter a bullet time-like effect, and you have more control over your tricks. You can only use it up to 15 seconds at a time, and you can't use it in the same combo more than 3 times. These new integrations fit well into a set of excellent controls. Everything that worked in the first game is brought over here and works just as well. The new additions are also easy to pull off, and they work when you activate them, though aiming where the next nada spins will go isn't always easy, and the tagging makes me wish for Jet Set Radio Future, at least for aiming and whatever. In spite of a couple bumps though, the controls are very solid. The graphics are also equally just as solid. The game's aesthetics lean into a more cartoon-like appearance though. Given the fact that this leans more into Viva La Bam territory, it's not really a surprise. The real pros look pretty much like they do in real life, but they lean a lot more into cartoony territory. The faces look on point, but body proportions are where this is more obvious, in addition to facial expressions and the like. Some are more exaggerated than others. I do think the style does fit overall on the whole given the tone of the game. Whether that will appeal to you or not, well, you'll have to decide for yourself as I show you the story mode. Beyond that, everything else is on point. Levels are well designed, they have good placement for objects that will set you up for many combos and the like, and they're also modeled well. Levels are also bigger, and objects from buildings, cars, ramps, etc. all look good with little to no aliasing, and there is some variety in each environment you visit as well. This helps the levels stand out, and not to mention there are much more events that can alter the levels to give them a surprise. Day and night cycles are also back, and weather effects like fog can really make for a difference in certain levels. Animations for cutscenes, player, characters, NPCs all look good. And like I said, the facial animations are pretty good, and they feel especially improved over the first. More expressions and better talking animations, on top of animations in general for characters moving. Performance is also good across the various versions with a rock-solid 60 frames per second, though with the Rocket Bomb section in Skatopia, if you're playing that on the Xbox version and you have it set to 720p, expect a very nasty frame rate drop then, but only in that version and only in that circumstance. It's not much more to add, it just looks good. The sound design is also on point like usual. The soundtrack is always on point. We got the standard mix of punk, rock/other, and hip-hop. Artists featured include Jimmy E. World, Rancid, Disturbed, Metallica, and there's even some old school stuff in there like the Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight, Frank Sinatra's That's Life, the Ramones' Rock and Roll High School, and the main theme of the game, The Doors, Break On Through. It's a pretty damn good soundtrack. Oh yeah, another classic piece, Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire, because why not? Also special note, the Explosions Here I Am that was also featured in Burnout 3 is featured here. I just wanted to mention that since they both came out in 2004. The sound effects are also pretty good. All the standard skating sounds sound as they should. Other game sound effects are awesome. I never get tired of that special trick sound effect. Environment sounds like glass shattering and the like fit, and the sound effects complement the game well. Seeing a pattern here? The voice acting is also on point. Many of the same voice actors from the last game are back for created characters and original ones. There are some new ones for smaller characters. Phil Lamar, Wally Winger, Jason Spisiak, Lex Lang, just to name some. And they do a good job. You also have now 2 options for female CAS voices. Melissa Disney is back. And for the second female voice option, Lonnie Manelli, the first voice of Rouge the Bat. And you have 4 options for the males. Lark Spies returning from the first game, but also Arif Kinchen, Jeff Fisher, and Joshua Seth. The pros are voiced by themselves, and everything sounds good from them and the other actors. In terms of replayability, there's a lot of bonus characters to unlock, from the ones you meet in story mode, pedestrian groups, you get the idea. There are also more movies as well. Most of these can be gotten by being story mode on a specific difficulty, while 2 of them, all cheats in the 8th pedestrian group, can be unlocked by finding all gaps. So at most, 3 playthroughs of story/classic mode, and while classic mode is fine, it's the story that has divided people over the years. Well, you know the drill here. I broke the first story down in detail, so it's only fair I do the same here. One recreation of Ginger Valley, though kind of sort of looking a little less like her up close, and we're off. And no, you cannot import created characters from the first game into here. And yeah, that's pretty much how it was like in Day of Reckoning 1 and 2. Too many code-based changes. Anyways, here we go. We start the game in New Jersey sometime after the events of the first Thug. We're chillin', just skating and all, when all of a sudden, a mysterious black van shows up and we crash into it. By that point, 2 unknown men pick us up and throw us in. When we wake up, we're surrounded with other people who have had the same bad encounter. Bob Burnquist, Eric Costin, Rodney Mullen, Mike Vallely, Chad Muska, Wee Man from Jackass, as well as 2 fictional characters. Paulie Wheels of Fury Ryan, the only one who has to use a high-powered wheelchair since he's in a body cast, and the backstabbing, mob-flipping cockroach himself, Eric Sparrow, once again voiced by Ben Diskin. Then one of the masked men bring out a chainsaw, and they point it at us, right as we think Eric is about to die.
I think the last word you're gonna hear would be... Hello, butt nuggets.
Oh, Bam. Yeah, it was Tony and Hawk and Bam Margera the whole time.
You're wondering why Bam and I invited you here tonight?
And by invited, we mean kidnapped. Tony and Bam reveal their plans for the World Destruction Tour. There will be 2 teams led by Tony and Bam, well, Phil captaining Bam's team, looking like he just got dragged out of bed. Points will be earned on both sides, by skating and doing other crazy stunts. And the losing team has to pay for the whole thing.
Going global, baby. Racking up points for some balls-to-the-wall skating.
That's right. And some ridiculous stunts and challenges.
Like that. 50 points if you get someone to hose their pants.
That's sweat.
Woo! And 20 bonus points if you think there's luggage in the trunk.
All right. You said a fruit salad, all right?
Yeah, Eric Sparrow is made to be a bit of a joke here. And trust me, he's gonna get it the worst. The underground aspect is also lived up to here, since there will be no publicity, or so we think. Tony and Bam then form their teams. By the time it's just us and Paulie, Tony has Burnquist, Mullen, Vallely, and Muska, and Bam has Costin, Wee Man, Sparrow, and Phil. I love how Bam still calls us a noob even though we proved ourselves in the first game. The first thug. But he has the real heel in Sparrow. Hey, nobody said he was the sharpest tool in the shed. Anyways, Bam chooses Polly and we're on Tony's team.
Come on, kid. These guys suck. You're with me.
Ladies, let the
First, last, and only. The training area takes place in a more expanded version of the warehouse stage from THPS 1. You'll talk to all the various pros who will help you relearn some basics, and you'll learn the new mechanics in the game. After completing how much you want to here, you're off to Boston for the first leg.
Brutal road trip. Gas station burritos plus a van crammed with dudes. Nothing like a 90-mile-an-hour Dutch oven.
So little food choices, huh? You're given a list of goals to complete for points. You can also select a pro teammate to have to accomplish their own set of goals. On top of that, there is a special guest and secret character to find. Some of them have their own set of vehicles, but they also have their own goals as well. Your goals include finding the special guest, founder of West Coast Chopper, Jesse James, he's hidden in Gears. Finding Ben Franklin, one of the many unique characters in this game. When you go on a specific side point into a specific building, you'll find him there. Graffiti tagging 5 spots. Taking a sick kid to meet Tony Hawk by taking his stretcher and running him to Tony. Getting a high score. Hitting flip tricks to the beat. Decapitating statues by lip tricking 2 and hip transferring over 1. And if that doesn't work, you can just not a spin it. And comboing on Jesse James's RV ramp once you get some of his goals done. The pro you select has to combo a line of 4 benches, grind a cannon, sketch a specific vehicle for 20 seconds, spine transfer over a specific statue while hitting a trick, start and land a specific point combo while their board is on fire, sticker slap some signs, tag a specific billboard, and hit a line with 3 specific rails. Ben Franklin's goals include transferring into a specific building, comboing on the ship, following a line known as the Liberty Trail, and you, him, and your pro will kick flip 3 bladers. Each level typically has a team challenge where the members who can actually skate will. The secret goals involve Jesse James on his motorized scooter. It's worth noting that special guests do have their own vehicles, different from the normal skateboards. These control similarly, but are more limited, with the exception of one, but we'll really get to that when we get to it. So to make up for this, the goals are modified to fix the vehicles. Here, you'll grind blockers near the hospital, jump over a few cars, race Polly, then spine transfer a few specific spots. You don't have to complete every goal to advance, unless you want a 100%. When you complete what you want or need, you go to the team leader and the level ends. Alternatively, you'll get a text message, and then you're able to just end it then and there whenever you want to. After you finish, we get a cutscene in front of a bar named Gears, a juvenile knockoff of Cheers. And we see a man and a woman talking to each other as if they've never talked to a member of the opposite sex before.
Thug is filmed before a live studio audience.
Donna, your rack is wicked awesome.
Stop it! You're retarded.
No, you are! Oh!
Nice catch, dumbass!
Knocked out?
Yes! I'm just doing that chick a favor!
You're retarded!
I think they both needed a favor, Bam. At the end of the leg, Tony's team has the lead, but not before Polly comes in with the last-minute save.
It's
Oh
Polly!
yeah, look out! Pooper going through! Please keep your hands inside the porta potty while you take a drink, bitch!
It seems like Polly is eager for that drink as well. I did warn you that the game would go into outrageous territory, and this is only a taste. With that stunt, Bam's team steals the victory in this leg. Team Hawk must now face the punishment via the Wheel of Loogies. We spin it, Bam hawks a loogie, and it lands on cut 1 loose. A tennis ball launcher is spun around like it's spin the bottle, and whoever gets hit in the groin is gone.
If I could leave our soon-to-be departed skater with just one final word, it would be... Fire in the hole!
Bye, Bob Burnquist. Hope you actually selected him for this leg, my friends, because this is all you get.
Bing!
Did I mention that Sparrow is still an annoying nuisance? This level was a nice introduction about how the game will play out and what to expect when going through the levels. Off to Barcelona, Spain. With Bob Burnquist out now, we have to pick up the slack, especially since Bam's team took the lead last second in that last leg. Our first big goal is to free the bullfighter. This is actually one of those objectives that use projectiles. We'll get some tomatoes, which you will also need to throw at 5 pedestrians, and throw it at the cage the bull is in, and we've messed with the bull. It then goes on a rampage, taking out several mimes in the process, giving them the horns, and one even hits a tower that sends it crashing down. So Monolith Productions isn't the only company with a hatred of mimes. But you can see now that you have a new piece to help you out with your goals. For the secret guest, take the entrance of the Plaza Parallela, or however you say it. It's not that hard to find. And you'll find none other than Steve-O riding a mechanical bull. Other goals include standard high score, spine transferring a particular spot, helping peg leg by grinding a particular buoy line, 5 graffiti tags, and grinding 4 trash cans. For the pro goals, combo a particular set of benches, hit a 720 grab after getting shot out of a catapult, tagging the big billboard, hitting several focus combos, hitting a specific rail combo, transferring over a specific spot, and acid dropping off a tram. The team challenge also involves getting a specific point combo after getting air from the bull. The bullfighter goals include a specific rail grind, doing a spin grab off a pile of bull crap, lighting your board on fire and launching out of the catapult to hit some birds, make your own phoenix, and hitting the bridge rail combo without touching the ground. For Steve-O's goals, trying to hit the bull, hit a combo in a particular area, do a grab, then acid drop after going off a fan boost, and bull flip a few spots known as Barcelona's finest. Honestly, this part control's not so good. Steve-O's moves are really more limited, but you really feel him here, and it just makes it more of a pain. Not to mention, because of this, it limits how many points you can get in certain combos, as the more you repeat certain tricks, you won't get as many points. But with all that done, Valele lands on Rookie Swap on the Wheel of Loogies, so us and Sparrow switch teams.
With the killer session you had here, that puts us back in the lead.
You mean that puts us back in the lead, bro? Since you and I are the newest pros, we getting traded. Thanks for the points, homie, huh?
No biggie, man. Our team is solid now. You, me, Costin, Paulie.
Mi grande chorizo es el jefe, mamacita.
I'm in the South Park cripple fight. Never mind. Off to Berlin. But first...
Some are calling it the biggest underground sporting event in history. The world's top skaters are going head-to-head in an unprecedented competition. European World News obtained this video earlier today.
Come on.
This bull's hung like a bull.
Shh. Don't be so loud, you wake the fat boy up. It's gonna be so good. How do you like that, fat boy?
Poor Phil. He just wants to sleep and Bam wants trouble. Now that the tour is getting more attention, we need to ditch the buzz. Now we're temporarily on Bam's team as we work to clear more goals. Things were already picking up in the last level, and they're only going to get more difficult from here on out. More difficult lines, more hunting specific areas, and with that, everything is getting more outrageous as we go on. You don't just see it in the cutscenes, you see it in the gameplay. I should mention here, by the way, that there's still a little bump with some of the platforming, but once you get used to it, it's not so bad. It's just trying to figure out the timing of everything. It does feel a little bit easier, though, than the first, once you get it down. But anyways, our goals have us getting high score, lip-tricking some inline signs, or grinding them, sticker slapping a wall in a rundown church to free spirits a couple times, finding our special guest, Paulie, sticker slapping a fish tank to help Wee Man, sticker slap some tobacco dispensers, find the graffiti tagger high up on the building, and knock letters off of a sign so it spells owned. Pro goals include hitting a special grind trick to barf on a couple guards, hit a combo in that rundown church, finally learn the not a spin, light our board on fire, and light some hats on fire by doing an ollie over the guys wearing them, have them all lit at once, hit several clean focus combos, hit the tourist line in time, transfer over 2 satellite dishes while hitting a grab after getting a fan boost and acid dropping into a pipe, and hit the Pro Tour line. The graffiti taggers' goals include hitting 5 rival taggers with paint cans, tagging 5 spots, tagging the big billboard, and tagging a specific area in the church. Paulie's goals include a line known as the Berlin Tour, hitting a big combo, which is easier said than done, because again, his moves are more limited, acid dropping a specific line after a specific flip trick, and the team challenge, each member has their own stunts. Bam manuals through some cones in one go, Paulie grinds on a fountain for 10 seconds, and we spine transfer McTwist into the church. Okay, it's really just more combos in that church, but that definitely helps it there. Meanwhile, over with Sparrow.
Hey guys, check me out. I'm going big. Whoa! Oh, schnell!
Dude, we suck anymore.
Yo, it's kind of ironic, man. Him nailing a wiener cart. Get it?
I would say more fitting than ironic. The Wheel of Loogies, though, hit Rookie Swap again, and we're back on our old teams. Then, out of nowhere, we finally get the guy who probably got the word out of the World Destruction Tour. Nigel Beaverhausen, voiced by Dave Wittenberg. Yes, Kakashi from Naruto. It turns out he also voiced Todd in Thug 1, and here, just watch.
The contest you blokes are doing is tubular, mega righteous. Dudes, I'm talking rad to the Mizax.
Cuckoo.
That is why I must capture it on video for you. It'll be huge, worldwide. And with a name like Nigel Beaverhausen, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, he's barely been here and already grinding our gears. We humiliate him, and on our flight to Australia, they make a quick stop in Thailand for more shenanigans. Because Bam and crew partied too hard, they ended up in India. This gives us more time to complete our goals and get ahead of them. Aside from highest score, our goals include nailing a combo that starts from the boardwalk grind, lipping the mini half pipe in a combo that starts in it, not spinning a fire hydrant to wake up a crane operator, which opens up the Outback Tours area where the special guest, whose name is Aborigine, I cannot pronounce it to save my life, is hidden, drain the tide pool by grinding a specific piece, knock over 6 tables, and find the shrimp vendor on the boardwalk closer to the beach. Pro goals include acid dropping into the tide pool, tagging the big billboard, grind 3 trash cans for cans, then give them to the guy with the metal detector on the beach, perform a clean double flip over 2 cars, not a spin the headless statue, transfer the Biggins ramp to ramp gap, which I swear takes dumb luck on sick difficulty, but is much easier to deal with on easy. Manual over the ramp, and the team challenge is that each member, the vendor, you, and the pro you select, has to hit the awning grind. The shrimp vendor goals include hitting 5 lifeguards with shrimp, hitting the lofty roof gap while doing 2 rotisseries and landing it, hitting a line to scare some seagulls in one combo, and hitting a gap over the big stair set while double flipping. For the special guest, who drives a go-kart by the way, his goals include smashing some signs, hitting a combo in the place we found him, hitting a big transfer, and grind the aftermath of the crane accident, which launches the head into the cop car that helps the skate rats. Sadly, our efforts are in vain as the Wheel of Loogie spoke, and because we got our points last, we're out. We get a bunch of mousetraps thrown at us while in our undies, but it turns out someone tried to apply Steiner math, and the round actually ends in a tie.
Wait a minute, Phil, you didn't add this right. We didn't lose, it's a tie.
Oh yeah, I guess I should have carried the one.
As we decide what to do, a kid shows up with a bootleg copy of the World Destruction Tour footage so far. Now it's us and Sparrow to humiliate Beaverhausen. Best one stays. Eric is so proud of himself for taking the basic route, but he gets checked by Bam not long after.
Ha ha! Yeah, nailed it! Alright! Come on, guys, what's next, huh?
You stole his clothes? That was your big stunt? You're an idiot. Why are you still on my team? Give me that. I got an idea.
Bam is finally seeing the light. We dress up as Beaverhausen, we beaver blast, aka fart, on 5 construction workers, and grind on a line to get seagulls to crap on the bikini girls. Obviously, this gets them murked, and they hang Beaverhausen on a hook for his troubles, and we're off to New Orleans while Sparrow cries about getting sent home.
And now you get to roll with us to New Orleans. Mardi Gras, baby.
What about me? Oh, no, this can't be it. This can't be it. Come on, give me another chance. Guys! I don't have a ticket home!
And that's the last we saw of Eric Sparrow, as Beaverhausen's ass went into his head and he got farted on. Do you think Neversoft realized the monster they created in Sparrow and decided to just torture him here because they knew that's how we all felt this time? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Another town, another party. And no fiesta is bigger than Mardi Gras in New Orleans. Drunks, idiots, and drunk idiots.
It's a way to extend this sentence. New Orleans is a tighter map and in general requires some thought just to find the right lines. Aside from high-scoring graffiti tag, our goals include hitting tricks to the beat, sticker slapping the riverboat a few times, finding the jester on the float, sticker slapping the water tower, grind 5 crypts to open them and wake the dead, which turns the whole town into a zombie ordeal, and then save the town by grinding the ring in the underworld, which you spine transfer into, then hitting a grab trick over the church statue. The pro goals include hitting the Nolans street spine, wall riding the trolley, or wallying it rather, where you wall ride and then ollie, hitting a spine transfer combo in a specific spot, tagging the big billboard, doing a manual over some manholes in one combo, hitting certain birds in the air by getting a big spine transfer, grinding on a few gas lamps, and hitting a big focus combo. For the Jester, his goals include throwing beads on 5 girls while on a float. I mean, it is Mardi Gras in New Orleans, what else are you gonna do? Acid dropping into the big drink near where you switch to him, break some balconies by wall riding up in one combo. And for the team challenge, each member hits a special trick in the church area. For the Witch Doctor, who you get after waking the dead, his goals include running over 10 zombies, which you're actually going to have to re-trigger waking the dead after you unlock him, just for the zombies to appear. I know it's a pain, but what can you do? Hitting a trick over the dumpster dive spine, not a spinning a pole near the cemetery, which actually has the Neversoft eye, and grind a few signs to make them spin. After that, we see Bam getting pulled on a skateboard by a couple of drunks.
Move it, drunk! Can't this some bitch go faster? Look out! New ride coming through!
Like it? My BMW! My boozed up moron wagon!
Oh, Bam. Oh shit, it's Beaverhausen. He's got the whole thing on video, and if we get him the footage of our final stop on the tour, he'll pay for the whole event. Seeing as how the event totals $21 million, they agree to the deal. Bam then uses the drunk to land a spot on the Wheel of Loogies, and it lands on... Just watch.
What's the point? You guys are so far behind now. There's no way you can win.
Whatever, dude.
But hey, that's what you want then. The equalizer. Oh, you're screwed.
You thought the Hawaii helicopter stunt from Thug 1 was gnarly? You ain't seen nothing yet. The rest of Tony's team steal a helicopter and we meet them on the roof while dodging security. We grab onto the left side of it, then acid drop onto the ramp below, then air up to the other side, switch to walk, then grab on. Then the copter gets into position, you'll then acid drop again, then spine over the helicopter. There's a lot going on here and you have to be on point. It's just that grabbing after getting in the air can be a pain. After that stunt, Muska wrecks the copter and gets arrested, presumably with Mullen and Vallely. And that's the last, by the way, we ever saw of Chad Muska in a Tony Hawk Pro Skater game until the remake.
We did it. We're all tied up.
They'll be fine. They've been busted for skating many times.
And that wasn't skating. They were busted for. They stole a fucking helicopter.
What the hell were you thinking?
They weren't. Fortunately, Tony is still with us as we dawn upon Skatopia.
When you little dirtbags have scored all you can, find me. We'll total things up, then you can crown my team champion.
Even though we're all tied up, given the end of the last level, but I digress. There's a lot of potential for sick lines here, and the goals really reflect that, especially at this point in the game. Aside from high score, tagging the billboard, and spraying 5 graffiti tags, our goals include acid dropping after getting air from a zip line, lighting our board on fire and launching a firework, which involves you getting air off that same place where you launch your board, get your board on fire, finding Ryan Sheckler, and getting the chainsaw at the highest point of the map without glitches. Anyways, Jesse James then presents us with a rocket-powered skateboard, but guess who shows up to steal it?
It's Bigfoot!
Oh, and then you find him anyways.
Could you back up a bit, Mr. Foot? You're out of focus.
I think he already went out of focus the moment he stole it. Pro goals include not spinning the tree you found the chainsaw at, then acid dropping below, performing the mountaintop manual gap, grind a row of logs in one combo, spine transfer into the mine, hit the Skatopia spine combo, hit the downhill line, jumping to the weather balloon, and wall ride 5 beehives to get them down. Ryan Sheckler's goals include grinding the huge electric wire, hitting the shack combo gap where you start in one shack, you start a combo in one shack, and you finish it in the other. Doing the over the house gap, which is going to involve you acid dropping / spine transferring, then jumping over that house where you can switch to Tony, and grinding the zip line, then acid dropping into the part that the game wants you to. Oh, and yeah, and of course that ridiculously long rail, but yeah. Anyways, Bigfoot's goals include hitting the sign transfer gap, kick flipping over a few plants so they'll grow, manual then hit the big ramp manual, and then manual up a slope. Once all that's done, it's time for the grand finale. Bam Margera is going to burn it down. He starts by grinding around an area with 4 firework rockets set up. This is where on the Xbox version, if at 720p, the frame rate dies. Then Nada spin the spikes to get them down. Grind off a wire, land on 8 boxes in one combo, if you're going on sick that is, and get the wire set up on the bomb that looks like a globe. As Tony, we then have to get the dogs out. And then we're given our final challenge.
Alright, it's time for the grand finale. This place is getting torqued. Yo, what's that rookie still doing way up there? Hey, loser! Let's make this interesting. We're up, but if you can bust Skatopia in one combo, you get 1,000 points. You know why? Because it'll never happen!
We then have to combo Skatopia and its sign in our combo as we make it down. I hope you have focus ready. It really helps here. Takes a lot of trial and error and stuff. And when you succeed, it's the best feeling in the world, but when you do...
It's beautiful. So beautiful. My life finally has a meaning. No!
There goes Bam's meaning in life. Now, we give Beaverhausen his footage, or so he thinks, and when he gets what he gets, the world is witness to this. Phil Margera's constipation. You see that look on his face? That's the look of every Tony Hawk fan with every Robomoto game somehow finding its way to store shelves despite still sucking.
Hey, where's toilet paper? I need some toilet paper up here.
So yeah, Beaverhausen gets humiliated, Phil can't catch a break, end of game.
Thank you, world, for tuning in. And before we go, we'd just like to leave you with one little thing.
Do ladies actually find the leopard-spotted bikini underwear appealing on a guy? On second thought, don't answer that. I just wanted the beaver to get an idea of how much of a fool he is. The credits actually reveal the aftermath of everything that happened as a result of the World Destruction Tour. Paulie gets more fans as a result and hasn't changed.
In Barcelona, many Spaniards are upset that their national pastime, the running of the bulls, is quickly being replaced by the new, more wildly popular sport of snap a bull in his beanbag with a rubber band, then run like freaking hell.
That stunt of snapping the rubber band against a bull and letting it loose is gaining quite a bit of momentum. Eric Sparrow gets one last insult after causing so much trouble.
American skater Eric Sparrow is recovering nicely after having his head surgically removed from another man's. When asked about the incident, one official simply said, well, he certainly gives new meaning to the term butthead.
They don't even mention it was Beaverhausen's ass. And the face looks like the one seen in the last game after we knocked him out. Pasty drunks start to overrun New Orleans like they're zombies. Beaverhausen becomes wanted in 973 countries for flashing patch, whatever that means. And for the final insult in this cavalcade of madness...
Tony Hawk and Bam Margera, the founders of the World Destruction Tour, have been officially banned from ever returning to Boston, Barcelona, Berlin, Australia, New Orleans, and even Thailand. Upon hearing the news, Tony and Bam replied, hey, good call.
We had to sack them for Thailand because Skatopia wasn't possible. Oh, did I forget to mention this was Neversoft's 10th anniversary celebration as well? That's why the not a spin in the New Orleans level is 10 seconds. Yeah, what a way to celebrate. Anyway, once you beat it, what you unlock depends on how much you've completed in addition to difficulty. Completing story mode on easy unlocks Shrek, voiced by, well, the same guy who voiced him in all the other games, Michael Gaw. A pedestrian group, Space Monkey, Phil Margera, an alien, and a geeky kid, who's actually supposed to be a reference to the Star Wars kid who you can find in the Boston level. On normal, you get an alien doctor, Lost Soul 1, Paulie, another pedestrian group, Sea Captain, and the Hand. You also get the Pro Skater level. On Sick, you get a COD Soldier, Nigel, and another pedestrian group. 100% story completion will net you another pedestrian group and the Pro Bales movie. Regardless of completion amount or the difficulty you selected, you will get the World Destruction Tour movie. What about Classic Mode Unlockables? On Normal, you get a pedestrian group, Steve-O, and THPS1 Tony Hawk. On Sick, you get Jesse James, Nanas Kalpas, and another damn pedestrian group. With 100% completion, you get the Neversoft Skates movie and one last pedestrian group. Regardless of difficulty level completed with / completion rate, you get the Triangle level and the Pro Bales 1 movie. Also, bad thing to know, unlike Thug 1, Clearing on one difficulty does not automatically unlock everything else on the difficulty below, meaning you can beat the game on normal and not get Shrek. Why they did this, I have no idea, but considering the story is on the shorter side, especially if you only do the essential goals, you can probably get through it all in a weekend if you're a skilled vet. The more I think about Tony Hawk's Underground 2, the more conflicted on it I become. Technologically speaking, this game is a huge step up over the first, especially from a controls and gameplay standpoint. It looks awesome, and the aesthetics fit well for the style. It controls damn near perfectly. It sounds well. The classic mode is a welcome addition and has some good throwbacks for the anniversary of Neversoft, and there are plenty of unlockables to go around. There's a reason Thug Pro was built from this game, because the gameplay was the best in the series up to that point. So why do I say I feel conflicted? Because the story went so far above what anyone else could have even imagined. I think many can agree this is the point where the franchise jumped the shark. This ended up feeling more like an extended episode of Viva La Bam, but with skating as an afterthought. The objectives are much more simpler than the last games, though the difficulty can pick up towards the end, and not to mention having to do multiple story mode playthroughs to get most of the main character unlockables when you didn't have to in the previous game sucks. Not to mention it does feel shorter compared to the last game, even with some of the tougher goals in the game. It does feel a bit easier for veterans. The only thing affected by difficulty is points needed to move on, high score objectives, and some other ones requiring an additional thing to do. And also focus combos and stuff like that would need more points on certain difficulties. And yeah, I can kind of see why this game is polarizing to some. Not to mention, there was only so much more room for improvement. But still, I can't say you shouldn't play this. Not just for the time capsule of the era it was in, but for the gameplay itself. You can get it for a decent price, and if you love the first, you'll probably still enjoy this for the gameplay alone. But just be warned that the story is going to go way more insane. Classic fans will lose themselves in classic mode. And you know what? I say give it a go. I'm giving Tony Hawk's to... You know what? No, I wanted to give it the highest 4 out of 5, but scratch that. The lowest 4.5 out of 5. I can't go any lower than that. This game really is one of my comfort games. And I just love losing myself in it, you know? That's all.
Congratulations, that's cool. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't you come back and race me again? Oh, you don't suck! Oh!
Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, click the big red button below to subscribe. Check out the other links in the description for more cool stuff, and check out the playlist on screen for more content. See you in the next video.